So what's going on, everyone? Today we're talking Cricket 24, and today they finally revealed some stuff. We've got the dev diaries here. They're going to be talking about the licensing that you're going to see in the game. So let's get straight into it. I have subtitled this whole video for you, so you don't even have to see them talk or do anything, and we can just get straight into it. So the first thing here is that Cricket 24 is the most heavily licensed cricket game, and you can see already we've got Big Bash, we've got IPL. I don't know what that other team is there. Is that the 100? That is the 100. And first of all, these look like slightly different running animations, and the run out obviously will probably be very Big Bash centric. Whether this is like a licensed like run out that you only see this in Big Bash games, or you only see this in T20 games, whatever. But these are very similar because remember in Big Bash Boom a few years ago, which was the Big Bash specific game, they had a lot of these like pyro entrances and things like that. And the pyro actually looks a lot better than it did in those games. Like you can even see this little like trail of smoke at the back end here. So it does look a lot better. And if you're wondering on a timeline for when this was recorded, I was able to zoom and enhance on this date on like the 4K version of the footage. And it said that it was the 25th of September, which is 1 week ago to the date. So they've gone around the world. You can see obviously Big Bash here. This is David Warner, so this is the IPL, this is the Delhi Capitals. I'm obviously being nitpicky early here, but I'm hoping that the cutscenes don't just default everyone to right-hander like they always used to, because there's always that opening cutscene of like Warner running out and practicing shots right-handed, and it's like, well, everyone knows he's a left-hander, surely you can just make the variation of the cutscene where he's a left-hander as well. And then we get some look at the other licenses. There's Caribbean Premier League, there's Rashid Khan in all of his glory, which is great to see. So then we get a look here at the SCG, which has got its big Cricket 24 logo there on the site screen. This looks like it's got a little bit more depth to it, and the lighting does look actually a fair bit nicer than it did. It could just be obviously the camera that they're using, but it does look like the depth blur is a bit better than it has been in previous games as well. We've seen this cutscene before. It's existed forever. Same with this. And you can see in this particular screenshot, obviously, some of the lighting adjustments and things that have happened to the game. It's obviously a bit blurry because they're recording off a screen. But there is a little bit more, like shine and polish on each of the players. Mitchell Stark's got a new, obviously, head. Same with Lyon, Alex Carey. Next screen, nothing new here. It's the Ashes screen. It's just a tour screen. We've seen this in the past. So there's nothing too eventful that has been changed in the UI as well as in the game's presentation. And that's probably the first thing you notice, is that there's nothing dramatically new about this game. Like you can see these animations are a bit nicer, obviously as I play them through here. And we've obviously seen a lot of these before. It does look a little bit different, maybe a little bit more polished in the animation. But again, this is what I was talking about at the start. Don't show me a left-handed batsman swinging with his right arm in a cutscene. Just have a flipped variation of it where they're batting with their left hand. Like I know it's super nitpicky, but you can talk as much as you want about having licensing and authenticity and this, and then you do that, and it annoys me. Like it surely is not that hard to be like, this guy's a left-handed. Only play the left-handed cutscenes. It cannot be that difficult. And we get here to the next screen. We can see that we've got, a Big Bash game going on here. Same UI, exact same layout. Nothing has really changed dramatically in this new game. And I hope that obviously they're showing us the new game over the old game. But like this is obviously going to be exactly the same. So you're not going to see anything dramatically new in the presentation. Hopefully it's the fact that the animations and everything look a lot smoother. And hopefully it plays a little bit different as well. But I'm looking here and I'm seeing this is a shot I've seen before where the AI dude steps across, whips it to the leg side in that T20 game. Obviously, Ben McDermott there. You can see the 100. But we do see a different user interface screen here, or a different HUD for Khawaja. This is probably your test match HUD. Now, I don't know if this is the final version. Obviously, this has been done a week ago. But if this is the stats that are going to be in-game, that will annoy me, because that is very nitpicky from me as well, to be like, I'm going to look up and see if you're showing me his stats. But these are his stats from 2019, because this is his stats now, where he has 1500s and 2450s in the past like couple of years. So come on, guys. Like his last 2 years were clearly his best, where he's got 10 hundreds. He's got 10 more 50s and 7 more hundreds. So very like nitpicky again. But if you want to talk about licensing and attention to detail, make sure you get the little things right. So again, not a lot has changed in terms of the actual presentation of the game, which I think is probably a good thing because it means that hopefully they focus on some of the actual issues with gameplay and bugs and things that have been going on, as well as improving on the actual look of the game. As I reckon up here, you can see that the lighting does look a little bit better in terms of more depth, and the shadows look a bit richer. Which I know is easy to overlook, but I think if it does look a lot better, then you'll notice it clearly, especially the shadow on the ground, particularly looks significantly better, I think, than in previous games. And so, like, I know it's probably not everyone's preference, but you can see here, there's a bit more rich texture in the grass, especially compared to here. I know they're different grounds and things like that. But the grass texture definitely looks a bit more richer. You can kind of see there's a bit more depth between the pitch and the grass. It's actually looking a bit more like Cricket 19, because that I thought was actually better than what we had in Cricket 22. And you can even see the shadow on the pitch here in Cricket 24 compared to the shadow on the pitch here in 22 is significantly different. So like there's definitely some good differences that you can see graphically between the two, that this new game does look a lot better, and hopefully it's brighter and richer in terms of the color that we're actually seeing in the new game. Of course, tomorrow when they put out some screenshots, they're probably going to do this. Like it'll show there'll be big differences as well. Anyway, but it does look significantly better. You can even see the shadow there, like in the pads. I mean, the pad could just have black on the inside in the new game, but I definitely think there's some shadow involved there. The shadow on the player looks a bit better as well, and obviously the shadow is across the different angles here, so it's a bit difficult to tell, but it does look a lot better. I've spent way too long talking about the shadow. And even in this next bit, you can see the grass looks way better. So big tick. You can actually see a new swooshy transition here for Cricket 24 for in between replays and things. I actually like the blue a lot better than I think it was like red that was in the last game. And that looks a lot nicer, a lot cleaner. And you can see the new HUD here. Obviously, they're probably trying to rush through to record this. And that's why Warner has 2 6s and 2 4s off 8 balls to get himself out very quickly in a test match. Again here, obviously Warner being the poster boy, you can see the IPL. And this screenshot does this animation. I mean, we've seen this in Cricket 22 as well. Does look a lot nicer, and the grass especially looks a lot better in terms of even the disparity between the grass and the pitch is looking schmick. Then we've got the 100, obviously pretty much the same UI, I think, or at least it's copying the same UI that the 100 had in the broadcast this year compared to what they used in the past. And that is an absolutely cleaning up of whoever that was, Tom Banton. Jeez, that was absolutely putrid from him. His stumps have gone kaput. And again, they're talking about the licensed teams here. So you go England, Australia, West Indies, New Zealand. Who else we got here? And then he's showing some of them. There's the New Zealand players. Looking very nice. And then they also say they've got a whole lot of other nations. And then here you get your new select screen for Cricket 22. And this is sort of our look at how the menus are going to be. Again, they're very similar, but that's okay. As long as we get our big improvements in the areas we're looking for, that's not too much of a fuss. So you've also got Ireland, New Zealand, Oman was also in there as well. And obviously they haven't ticked over too many others because maybe they don't want to reveal anything too dramatic yet. And then they go to talk about all the pads and things that have been added in, lots of licensed equipment, pads, bats, gear, all that stuff. You can obviously see the grey nickels. This would have been photo reference perhaps, or maybe a 3D model scanned in there. You can see all the bats here that they're going through, and just how it sort of appears from in reality to the 3D model, and how you end up with that in-game. So lots of obviously grey nickel stuff here they're looking at there. And of hopefully all those licensed players have their correct gear, I imagine is what they're telling us is how that's going to look here as well. So that'll be good. And you can see all the West Indians in here as well, which is great. And then to end here again, another Big Bash cutscene, this one showing the Big Bash trophy. Hopefully again, we get that bug fix where you actually see the correct trophy pop up for the correct like celebration at the end here. And again, more Big Bash lads here in the Hobart Hurricanes. So there's Ben McDermott out in the middle there, absolutely living his best life. And there is that Nathan Coulter-Nile? I think it is, for the Melbourne Stars, looking actually really good. And I think he's even got a little bit of a facial animation going on there as well, which would be quite nice if that is the case. But you can definitely tell that these cutscenes in particular do look a lot more polished. The lighting looks a little bit, a lot better. And they're probably going to be like a huge, major improvements that we're going to see in this game. Like even in this, you can see that there's clearly been some like improvements to the lighting and the presentation of the game. So I know that's probably not what everyone wants to see, is that, oh, they've just improved the lighting, they've just improved this. But so far, we've got a decentish look here at how the game's going to look. It's going to play fairly similarly, hopefully, but with all of our stuff that we want fixed. The fielding, we haven't seen that yet. That's going to be new. And obviously, there's still a little bit to play out in terms of it. And like the sparks look nice here. Like the sparks, the lighting. There's definite improvement that you can see at the beginning of this game without seeing a whole lot of new things. So anyway, that's it for our first look at Cricket 24 today. I've probably talked for way too long. I'm going to have to cut this down. I think I've talked for like 30 minutes, but I haven't said anything of actual substance. So I'm excited to see what they show in the next couple of days. A lot of it looks similar, but looks a lot better. So that's what we want. We've got a pretty good cricket game in Cricket 22. If we can improve upon that to get a better game again, fantastic. So thanks for watching. I'll be back with another video tomorrow with all the reveals around that and reveals around Cricket 24. But until next time, have a good one, everyone, and I'll see you all later. Let me know what your thoughts are. Okay? Let me know. All right. Goodbye.